Hi there and welcome to my channel. This is Valerie with 5P Designs. Hope you'll join me today as I make this wall hanging. So we'll be making these slightly fancier tassels. They're a lot of fun once you get the hang of it, so stick around and I'll teach you just how I made those. Materials for today, we have some wire, we have some driftwood that we found on the beach on our vacation last year, some cord, I'll link that below where I got that, and some wire, and I just wrapped this around a dowel rod to get those spirals, and then some white cord that you see there. To get started, I cut some lengths of the cord. I did 8 strands and they will be grouped into 2 just like this, so kind of like 4 total. This is what we'll be working with today. So first step, you're going to lay it out like this. You're going to make like a grid type system. You're going to have a loop on each side. Now, if you've ever made a lanyard at summer camp or Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts, this is very similar. So you have the loops here, and what we're going to do is we're going to take the tail and bring it through the loop. We're going to do this on all 4 sides. Tail and stick it through your loop. Just like so. And again, we're going to take that tail and stick it through the loop. I know I'm going to be monotonous. I'm going to say it again. Take your tail and stick it to the loop. It's real easy to overcomplicate this, so just keep it simple. Remember, tail through the loop. So I've said it like 5 million times. And now we're just gonna scooch it all together. We're trying to keep things even here and just kind of center it in the middle of each of those threads. Again, that was redundant, center, in the middle. It's all the same thing. So just keep scooching till you get it tight. Keep on going, keep on going. Just be patient with it, try and get it even. So what you're doing is you're kind of creating a square knot. So you'll see that in just a moment. We're getting there. All right, so now you can see that, and then I'm just gonna take my hands and grab all of the tails and just keep pulling and tugging until I think it is tight enough. Alright, so now we're going to do the same time. This time it's a little bit easier. It's more like weaving. So you're going to take that right side and bring it over to the left side, bring it over the right. And I think I do this wrong the first time, so we'll see. So now we're going to take the top, we're going to bring it over and under. And it's kind of hard to keep those strands organized, so you have to be careful. And then the bottom is going to go over and under. And let's see, I'm pretty sure I did this wrong, and then I do it again. Yeah, I got that a little bit wrong. So no big deal. Let's try that again. I think this time I went from the bottom to the top, and then I was able to keep it sorted out better. Okay, so top down, and then the bottom one up, and now we're going to weave the sides in, and somehow my brain was able to organize that better. So this one's going to go over and then under, maybe, or we'll switch it up. See, you know, this is a process. You just got to keep trying until you get it right. We're going to take the left side and go over and under. There we go. All right, and then we'll take that right side and over and under. Then everything's secure. Okay, so you see your little loop there, and then we're going to take that tail and pull it through. All right, thanks for sticking with me. I'm glad we figured that out together. And we're going to do the same thing we did before and just keep scooching everything in, get it all nice and even, and we have our second layer. Moving on to the next step. Okay, fold those strands down, and then we will be using the white twine that I showed you in the beginning to tie off your tassel. Now when you do this, you want to kind of keep pulling the strands down once you tie the white on. That way you can really see all the work you did to make that tassel head look nice. If you do it loose, you can't see it, so what's the point of that? So you'll see me, I tie it, and then I keep pulling those strands down until it looks the way I like. And now to finish off the tassel, after we've tied the white on and we've got all those strands pulled down, we're just going to take one of the pieces of the twine and just wrap it around, and you'll see I leave the other piece hanging down, and then we just tie them together, and it's simple as that. And then you can just cut off your loose pieces and your tassel is done. Okay, so maybe I lied, not completely done. So you see I have a black comb here, and this cord that I have is really easy to do this with. Some cords are a little bit harder, like if you use a rope, but I'm just combing it out so that all of those pieces come apart. I was trying to think of some scientific thing to say about that, but really that's all I'm doing is just combing it out, and it makes it all nice and fluffy. And this is optional, of course, and depends on which material you use, but I like the way this looks. So just combing it out, and then I will trim off the ends to even it up, and then your tassel is done. Okay, so now we get into assembly. So I have 3 cords here. I didn't want to completely cover the stick because it looks really cool. It has some neat colors in it. It's got these little marks, and so I didn't really want to hide that. So I'm just doing 3 cords here. Depending on which kind of stick you find, you can do more, very easily adjustable to what you want to do. So I'm doing a lark's head knot. Maybe it's a reverse lark's head knot. That's a macrame term. I'm not, a expert on macrame, but I think that's what it's called. So basically it's just taking a loop and sticking the tail through so that you can hang it off of the stick you're using. Pretty simple, even though you see me getting all caught up there. So just scoot your cord around until you have it where you want. Now as I assemble this, and I do believe I lose footage somewhere along the way here, I end up cutting some of these cords and knotting them, and really I'm just arranging things until I think it's aesthetically pleasing. So just keep working with what you have until you think it looks right, because when I finished it at first I was like, this is not what I want. So always just keep working with things, and you'll get it eventually, and you'll be like, glad I didn't give up on that. Now I'll be taking the wires and putting them on 3 of the strands. You could use beads as well. I didn't have any that would fit this cord, so I thought the wired would work well. And I don't know where I got this wire. My husband always has leftover things here and there. So I saw it twirled around the dowel rod and thought, this would look pretty cool. So I was trying to just kind of fit it around the cord, and it wasn't working very well. So I taped off the end, and then that made it easier to fit through. And then when I tried to take the tape off, that proved more difficult than I expected. So then I cut the tape off. My cord was a little shorter, but it worked out in the end because I like the staggered look of the tassels and the wire. Okay, now I'm just going to make a double knot so the wire doesn't slide off of the cord, and that section is done. Now I see where I lost footage. How did I put the tassels onto the cords? I used hot glue, simple as that. Just tied a knot on the end of the cords and then just stuck it onto the top of the tassel. Real easy. And then you see I put the other 3 on and the other 3 wire coils, and I kind of cut the cords, I mentioned that before, until I liked how they were hanging, and then my wall hanging was done. And here you go. I put it in various parts of my house to see what I liked best and what color options. So always play with things, put things in different areas of your house and see where you like it best. Thanks for joining me today.